Hello, everyone. Yes, it's me. Couple of things. It's early here. It's still cold, very cold. Uh, my daughter and I, and the little one, we've gone nowhere since the snow and the ice came through. We're just at home. But my son in law, he had to go out to work. Yes, yeah, life goes on, right? And of course, we're worried every time he has to go out, and the roads are still, they try to take care of them, I guess, but it's difficult. And so far, so good. But yesterday, my daughter said, "Hey, Mom, look at this." And I have literally, I had one experience, and yes, it damaged my windshield as well, where I was driving behind a coal truck in our mountains, going to work. Yep, and I was not that close. I'm one of those drivers. I don't sit on someone's tail or this or that. I make sure there's enough room between us because you never know, especially in the mountains. A deer runs over the road or something else, and the person ahead of you, the car ahead of you, suddenly slams on the brakes or something. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'd be dumb enough to then, pile up. Right, yes. I was far enough back, and that coal truck was tall enough that it hit a branch. Uh, yeah, lots of trees there. And one of them broke off and came flying at my car, hit the windshield. It damaged the windshield. It had a crack in it, but it didn't shatter it or anything. I was like, oh man, I drove around with that crack forever and ever and ever. Yes. uh, so I had that experience. So I know what that feels like when something comes flying at your windshield. And there are numerous uh, videos out there or pictures of ice, snow and ice blocks that flew off. I guess it got warm enough in the car and it loosened at other people's windshields and shattered them. Literally shattered them. Made holes, big holes in them, right? Right, and often right on the driver's side. In my case, okay, it happens. But in those cases, why? Why are people not smart enough to clear off their cars, especially when there was so much ice involved? What is that? How unthinking, how selfish, how stupid, how idiotic is someone that doesn't care? Oh, never thought of that. And of course, because you're on the road, what are you going to do? Get the license plate number? Oh, wait. You have a shattered windshield now. How's that going to work? I'm just saying. How thoughtless are people out there? Anyway, just wanted to share that. Say, hey, be more aware that you're not alone out on the road. I've taught my children when they started driving, and I had that policy for myself at all times, anytime I was out on the road, and I have never had an accident my whole entire life of driving. Never had an accident. Oh, lucky me. Well, you know what? Yes, stuff happens. I'm not saying that if you do that, you will never have an accident, this or that. But I taught my children, they started driving, don't ever expect someone else to look out for you while you are on the road. You do that. You look out for everyone out there and yourself in that way. Just saying. something that I never thought of, actually, really, before I heard that. Where True Father, I learned that from True Father. He said, every time you get behind the wheel, say a prayer first. Well, what kind of prayer would one say? Father, Heavenly Parent, Mother, please keep us safe out there while we're driving. Everyone around me and myself. Yes? Little guidance on the road. I find that a really, really cool little thing to do every time you get behind the wheel. Yes? Anyway, so I hope that there's plenty of ice and snow still on people's cars. I've no doubt. There's no melting going on. None. Okay? I know that from here. There's no melting going on. It's way too cold during the day, even. No melting. And I'm very conscientious on what's on our roof as well, right? Yes, and I pay attention. So again, there too, when you're on the trees as well, when you're going out, and in the next few days, probably it may happen. Maybe it take a little longer. All the ice and the snow on the roofs are starting to loosen up. Make sure your children aren't out there playing right underneath the roof. If ice blocks, snow and ice blocks falling, coming off of cars, are shattering people's windshields, they could very well kill a small child when coming down from your roof. Just saying, please beware of things like that. Please beware. And people, clean off your roofs before you get out on the road. Okay. So we are in Jeremiah, and if I remember the other thing, which is way worse than what I just said now, well, in my opinion, that's just as bad. Lives are at stake here, people. Lives. I will tell you. Jeremiah 4. The book of Jeremiah 4. If you come back, Israel, Yahweh declares, if you come back to me, if you take your horrors out of my sight, if you go roving no more, if you swear as Yahweh lives, truthfully, justly, uprightly, then the nations will be blessed themselves by him and glory in him. All right, so again, okay. For Yahweh says this to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, clear the ground that lies neglected. Do not sow among thorns. I could see the desire coming out through here, where Judah and Jerusalem, you need to unite. Yes? And would it be a whole lot easier to unite for Israel and Jerusalem if they didn't each have a king? Who wants to stay king? Yes? Well, clear the ground. Circumcise yourselves for Yahweh. Oh my gosh. Apply circumcision to your hearts, men of Judah. Oh, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Or my wrath will leap out like a fire and burn with no one to quench it in return for the wickedness of your deeds. Ay, dear Lord. Okay, we've been there, done that. Let's keep going. I'm doing this for the reputation of God. God would never respond in that type of way. Also, again, circumcise yourselves for Yahweh. You know what? My feeling is that many people have pulled this just that one out of the Bible and never gave the rest. Apply circumcision to your hearts, men of Judah and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Yes? So there's a little bit more to that word, circumcision, than do that physical thing, the babies. You know what? I'm not going to go there. That is just, how terrible. Ugh. Invasion from the north. Announce it in Judah. Proclaim it in Jerusalem. Say, sound the trumpet in the countryside. Shout the message aloud. Mobilize. Take to the fortified towns. Signpost the way to Zion. Run, do not delay, for I am bringing disaster from the north, an immense calamity. Okay. The lion is up from his thicket. The destroyer of nations is on his way. He has come from his home to reduce your land to a desert. Your towns will be in ruins, uninhabited. So wrap yourselves in sackcloth, lament, and wail, since Yahweh's burning anger has not turned away from us. Well, here we go. Jeremiah goes right along with all the Isaiahs, you know, and depicting God as this just horrible thing itself. I'm just saying. I mean, I just don't. When I think of my own life, when people tell me, you can't do that, that's not going to work, I would immediately go, well, let me see. Right? And anybody that would threaten me, I'm not going to get closer to something that threatens me. I'm going to back up. That would be the right way to handle a threat, in a way. And I can't see that suddenly the people of Israel and Jerusalem, because they're being threatened here, that's a threat, go, oh yeah, okay, all right, let's take God on again. Right? We're going to believe in God again to avoid the threat. Obviously, it didn't work. They're all telling the same thing, probably during the same time, right? Yes? So it's all the same threat. It's all laid at God's feet. They had no other way anymore to control the people than to threaten them. With what? With God. Is that right? I don't think that's right. That day Yahweh declares, the king's heart will fail him. The princes' hearts will fail them too. The priests will stand aghast. The prophets stupefied. Oh, we already read that in Isaiah. Same thing, same exact thing. So who wrote this actually? Is this all the same person? There's no really Jeremiah. There are no Isaiahs. Who actually wrote all this? This is all exactly the same thing. It's even worded exactly the same way. Right? Yes? Interesting. Then I said, oh Lord Yahweh, how sadly you deceived this people and Jerusalem. What now? When you used to say you will have peace. You see what's going on here now? Yeah. Whereas the sword is now at our throats. When that time comes, this will be said to this people and to Jerusalem. The scorching wind from the desert heights comes towards the daughter of my people, and not to winnow or to cleanse. A gale of wind comes to me from over there. Now I myself shall pass sentence on them. Okay. Look, he is advancing like the clouds, his chariots like a hurricane, his horses swifter than eagles. Disaster for us, we are lost. Wash your heart clean of wickedness, Jerusalem, and so be saved. I glean out of here as well, how are we going to get the people on the right track again? Yes? Well, the question also is, do they want to go back under? Do they want to go back under God's umbrella? Do they? I don't know. They seem to be so far off track. I mean, I can hear it through the words of these men who are trying to. How are we going to do that? And why did they care? Oh, why do I care? Why am I making all these videos? Because there are things suffering out there. There are people suffering, children suffering, animals suffering, all kinds of things being destroyed out there. That shouldn't be in the situations that they're in. And it's all man-made. Most of it is man-made. Right? Yes, we had snow and ice. But the negligence of not wiping off the cars And then the destruction it caused, and I don't think it has caused any deaths yet. It's made by whom? Who was negligent? How long will you go on harboring your pernicious thoughts? For a voice from Dan shouts the news, proclaims disaster from the highlands of Ephraim. Report it to the nations, proclaim it to Jerusalem. Enemies are coming from a distant country, shouting their war cry against the towns of Judah. And here again, it's obviously up. There's an army coming, and this is then suddenly. It's a good way also to use on the people the wrath of God now, right? Yes. Yeah. They surround her like watchmen around the field, because she has rebelled against me, Yahweh declares. Your own behavior and actions have brought this on yourself. Your wickedness, how bitter, has stabbed you to the heart. In the pit of my stomach, how great my agony, walls of my heart is throbbing, I cannot keep quiet, for I have heard the trumpet call, the battle cry. I'm thinking, now I'm reading this, and I say, okay, so here it is. I'm doing this for the reputation of God. Don't lay everything at his feet, her feet, our parents' feet, right? Yes? Take responsibility for your own stuff. But at the same time, what about why aren't these prophets, these men of so supposed great knowledge and wisdom and I don't know what, why aren't they in the court with the kings and the advisors there and go, you're doing something wrong. Number one, you're not supposed to be a king. We're not supposed to have a king. No, it's all laid at the people's feet. But where does all this stuff come from? It's all coming from the higher-ups, the kings, right? Who are not being held accountable. Break every commandment there is. And not that they did. Yes? But here they're all talking to the people. Sounds like talking to the people. Well, we already had the Chronicles and the Book of the Kings, right? I already had heard all of that. So here now these guys are just laying more at the feet of the people as well, right? Yes, okay, just saying. Just interesting to read, and somebody's wondering, man, where did these guys come from? How were they, and why did they write things down in the way that they did, pulling God into all this, right? Yes? Ruin on ruin is the news. The whole land is laid waste. My tents are suddenly destroyed. In one moment, all that sheltered me. How long must I see the standard and hear the trumpet call? This is because my people are stupid. They do not know me. They are slow-witted children. They have no understanding. They are clever enough at doing wrong, but do not know how to do right. So it goes from... that's something we would say, right? Does God really think about his children like that? No. But I have to say, sometimes I did look at my kids and I said, man, I think we lost every brain cell in your head. Why would you do that to begin with? You haven't been taught that way. You were forewarned about many different things, right? And yet you still did it. Right? One thing can't help as a parent go, well, that was dumb. Why would you do that? And it's true. They are clever enough, not just children, anyone out there. We are clever enough at doing wrong, but do not know how to do right. We know full well what is right. That's the other thing. That's just an excuse again? No. I looked to the earth. It was a formless waste. To the heavens, and their light had gone. It looked to the mountains. They were quaking, and all the hills rocking to and fro. I looked, there was no one at all. The very birds of heaven had all fled. I looked, the fruitful land was a desert, all its towns in ruins before Yahweh, before his burning anger. Yes, Yahweh has said this. The whole country will be laid waste, though I shall not annihilate it completely. For this the earth will go into mourning, and the heavens above grow dark. For I have spoken, I have decided, I shall not change my mind or go back on it. All right, then we can throw the promise of this. Surely this was after the flood. That's we also have read about in the Bible. Then God's going back on his promise that he would never do that again. So what? Yeah. Who doesn't know what? Yes? Or did it ever happen? Who knows? Did this ever? Okay. This to me just sounds like making use of God. Abuse God. Yes? That's not right. So, someone here is very clever at doing it wrong and not knowing how to do it right. At the din of horsemen and archer, the entire city takes to flight. Some plunge into the thickets, others scale the rocks. Every town is abandoned, not a single person is left there. And once despoiled, what are you going to do? You may dress yourself in scarlet, put on ornaments of gold, enlarge your eyes with paint, but you make yourself pretty in vain. So who would do that? Now he's talking to the court, but in a very veiled kind of way. Your former lovers disdain you. Your life is what they are seeking. Yes, I hear screams like those of a woman in labor, anguish like that of a woman. Here we go again, giving birth to her first child. They are the screams. All right, so what? Here again, we all heard this before. Of the daughter of Zion, gasping hands outstretched, unhappy me, I am dying. The murderers have killed me. That's the end. Oh my gosh, what a waste of it. This was such a waste to read. I'm sorry, guys. I can't help it. So, but one more thing to say to this. Interesting, I used the snow and ice on the cars and the damage that they have created because the people are too lazy to get them down. So, here you go out to your car and you look. You say, I got to get this off. But it's so cold out here and I don't really have time to get this off now. I got to get on the road to get on time to work. You know what? I'm just going to take my chances. Those are some. Then there's the other one. Man, it'd be so easier. Just get in the car and not worry about it. But their heart to mind is broader. They don't just think of their self. Their heart to mind, and that's the difference between people and people, is broader. They think, but if this comes off my car, that could hurt someone. Seriously hurt someone. Kill someone. And even though they take the time and they get it off their car. Yeah, interesting? Yes. Okay. All right. It's not that hard to figure out which people that you come across and yourself. If you're one of a very narrow-minded, right? That you have a very narrow-minded personality, character, and people have very broad-minded, in the appropriate way as well. Broad-minded could mean all kinds of things. Right? Yes, I'm talking on the side of goodness, where you're not using this broad-mindedness to one's advantage to do what? To do wrong. Yes, it goes both ways again, right? Yes, and you have to balance it out. Say, okay, what's right, what's wrong? It's not that hard to figure that out. I have 3 minutes. Basically, the best thing I can do on this is, I still need that. We all need to pray for the pastor and this pastor that was arrested and is being detained for some of his political views or some interviews that he... Why can't the pastor be political? I don't get that. But anyway, And you don't get arrested when you're on the wrong path, right? Yes? You most likely don't get arrested unless you're a threat in some way. And then, of course, our beloved true mother, who is now in such bad condition due to falls. Um, she has injuries due to her falls that she's having, and she has just about gone blind now because that's not being taken care of. And I don't know what else is going on. And from what I have read, this isn't just detaining someone. I'd like to remind everyone she hasn't been charged with anything. They haven't found, with 3 years of investigating, raided our church and the Chungpyung twice now, and they can't find anything concrete to charge her with. Yet she's being held in detention. It's been over 5 months now. She is in, I would say now, critical condition. In my opinion, that's torture. She can't walk anymore. 83-year-old woman held in detention for over 5 months now in South Korea. Can't charge her with anything. She's in such bad shape that it's considered that they say she can't attend trial. And yet, she's not getting the medical attention she needs, the care she needs. She's deteriorating. That's torture. In my opinion, that is torture. And we're letting it happen. Wow. But I don't know what to do. I know there's people who can do something about it. But hey, again, gonna have to scrape that ice off that car, huh? Anyway. So, best I can do is to ask everyone for prayers for both of them. As far as I know, that pastor isn't doing all that well either. That other pastor. And also needs medical attention. Because this is also an older gentleman. Yes. Alright. That's it. That's all I have to share today. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you, guide you, and embrace you with love. And I will talk to you all another time. Oh, it's still going.